I wanted to do this story because, I mentioned yesterday, actually talking about this at the beginning of the show. So I have a gym in the building that I live in, right? And I make an effort to try to go to the gym more often than not, like 3 times a week, right? But, sometimes things come up, you can't go, but typically 3 times a week. And yesterday we had a meeting in the morning to prepare the show. And I told Alice, our producer, that I'm going to the gym because I was wearing, my stuff, my shorts, my shoes, the whole deal. And I didn't end up going. And I kind of beat myself up for not going. And then this morning, she said, you better go today because I said I would. And I did. But the reason I bring this up is because if you can't find the time to go to the gym and work out hard, like, 40 minutes or 45 or an hour, whatever it happens to be, I saw a headline and I thought, this is perfect. I'm good. Let's walk into this. The headline says the least amount of exercise you can get away with doing and obviously still get benefits from. Keyword least. Dr. Stella Volpe is a professor of exercise and nutrition at Virginia Tech, former president of the American College of Sports Medicine, and she is on the line. Doctor, thanks for being here this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me, Aaron. It's an honor. It's just so great to be asked.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm very interested. You're mentioned in an article in Time and talking about this because, as I said, to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people listening who, for whatever reason, don't have the time or don't have the inclination, it turns out, according to new research, that you don't need as much time perhaps as you thought to actually get benefit from doing something. Is that right?
It's true, yes. And some people think you have to go 2 hours or an hour, and you really don't. But I'm going to let you ask the next question because I can go on because there's also a difference between exercise and physical activity. And so there's those nuances there as well.
Well, so break that down. What are the differences and what should you be doing?
Well, both are great for you. Exercise is that defined time that you are going, like you said, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to do something. Typically, it might be high intensity. It may not. But physical activity is any type of movement you do throughout the day. And in actuality, that movement throughout the day, adding that up actually can count, if you will. I'm putting my air quotes that you nor your listeners can see, that can all count toward your the health of the benefits
right.
that we get. So the health benefits come from both exercise or physical activity, and we want to encourage people to do both.
Which is great. So again, it doesn't even have to be a matter of going to the gym. Now, when you talk about physical activity, I've heard people say, sitting obviously is not good for you if that's what you do all day. But if that's your job, what can you do as your physical activity?
Oh, there's so many things. And so even chair exercises. So people can do a few things. Some people might have standing desks and they can, stand or just maybe have their watches tell them to get up and walk down the hall every hour. Or they can even do leg lifts. Sometimes I do leg lifts even, at meetings or, sit and stand with their chair. But honestly, getting up and walking and moving around is a really great thing, and it's what our bodies want to do.
Oh, sorry. I was actually doing leg lifts just as you were talking because I sit all day during the show. So that was good.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I feel good just having done that. It's you really, and the thing that people perhaps don't get is you really don't need to do all that much to have any kind of benefit, right?
You don't. There's a study that I always forget the authors, and I'm embarrassed, but a while ago, a study was done where they had half the people at a workplace take the stairs, the other half still took the elevator. The people who took the stairs regularly improved their aerobic fitness compared to those who took the elevator. It can be that simple.
And that is pretty simple, right? Taking the stairs, assuming you don't have to walk up 10 flights. The other thing, and I know this gets pointed out all the time as well, as much good as it is for you to actually do something when you're sitting all day, as easy as it is, as you said, to do a leg lift or, maybe a jumping, whatever it happens to be. Strength training, however, is important. But I think in reading the article, it was interesting to point out strength training doesn't necessarily mean having to go to the gym to lift a weight. Body weight is a good way to start.
Absolutely. I tell people push-ups or, push-ups that maybe are against the chair if they can't do a regular push-up or knee push-ups. They can, or you can simply put some canned food in a little bag, and you can do a few things at home as well. But your own body weight certainly can be, you can do air squats, little things like burpees, which are not the most fun for some people. But there are many things that I think we don't think about in our minds because we think, oh, I must be able to lift that weight or that very heavy weight to get benefit. I don't want to use a brand name, but if you know those stretchy bands,
Yeah.
those can even be helpful too, and they can really help people, have some type of resistance that can help both their muscle and their bone.
So let me also point, because it's not the same, obviously, for everyone. As you get older, things change. So with respect to the amount of exercise you would do over the course of a week, as that changes with age, let's say you're into your 40s, 50s, 60s, how much should you be sort of winding down, or should you be winding down at all if you don't have to?
I don't think you should wind down all if you don't have to. As a matter of fact, research is very clear that even though when you see that aging can increase your risk of chronic disease, and all of us are aging, when you age and you continue to exercise, whether it's walking, whether it's heavy duty exercise, it decreases that risk of chronic disease. So I would tell people not to ramp it down. They might want to ramp down the intensity perhaps, but in general, I keep telling people that as long as I can do it, I will.
So, by the way, when I said strength training is important, so if you're going to mix both, right, and let's say you don't have a lot, can you get done in 15 minutes, in the gym or wherever you happen to be working out, if you just do a little bit of walking for 4 or 5 minutes and do strength training for the bounce? What would the recommendation there be?
Absolutely. Honestly, I would rather have people do something rather than nothing, and every bit does actually count. And so, yes, if they have 15 minutes and that's all they have, do a little bit of aerobic activity or walk later, maybe do some strength training if they are at a gym and want to do actual weights. Obviously do them safely, but that all is very beneficial. And there are people who really might not have a lot of time, and any bit that they can get in their day of any type of physical activity will be very helpful to them.
Yeah, and one of the other things in the article worth mentioning as well for people who think I don't have time to do it during the week, and the quote is, weekend warriors get the same benefits, right, as those who are active every day during the week.
They do. The one thing, again, I caution is because they might be weekend warriors, is not to overdo it, right? To just kind of think of it, okay, I only have these 2 days. I'm going to exercise, but exercise within the parameters that they have so that they're not going to, hurt the rest of the week and then maybe not want to do it the next week. But yes, that's very true.
All right. And the other issue too, and I mentioned off the top, we said 15 minutes. That seems like a reasonable time if you don't have a whole lot of time, but it's pointed out just 5 minutes of activity per day, just 5 minutes, sends more blood pumping through your body, and that supports all sort of health benefits, right? Yes,
it's true. And again, it may not seem like a lot, but a lot of times if you tell people 5, they're likely going to do 10 or 15, right?
Right.
And so that's what's also kind of fun about that. And the other thing I want to mention, Aaron, is that multiple bouts of physical activity throughout the day are very beneficial. So if somebody has 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, that's equally as good as if they did 20 minutes altogether.
Yeah, and by the way, for people who have to skip a day or skip a day there, you shouldn't beat yourself up over that either.
Yeah, please don't. I'm glad you didn't beat. I feel bad. You felt bad that you didn't go yesterday, but as long as you're fairly consistent with getting yourself moving each day. And again, some of us who do go to the gym and we have these routines, we feel worse if we don't, but it's not like you didn't walk or did whatever, you did. You still were moving. And so that's the thing, is just think about our activity. That physical activity part is still important.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Dr. Volpe, really appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
care.
Aaron. Appreciate you having me.
I'm going to do some leg lifts now in our commercial break. Dr. Stella Volpe, professor of exercise over at Virginia Tech.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.